Welcome to our channel where we update the most fascinating stories, dramatic details and in-depth analysis of famous movies. If you are a fan of conflicting dramas, tense mind games and unpredictable situations, then this is the destination for you. Let's join us to discover the most thrilling stories, where emotions are always pushed to the climax. Kat has secretly planned for a long time to obtain important evidence related to Leslie's serious scandal. What Kat has collected are not just ordinary documents, but shocking secrets. Enough to shake the entire system of power that Leslie is trying to protect at all costs. In the darkness of a small, narrow room, Kat has found every way to approach the top-secret file. Every step she takes must be careful, leaving no trace, because if discovered, everything will collapse. Unfortunately, Leslie, who is always alert to the threats around her, discovered Kat's actions. As Kat was pulling out each page of the precious files from the carefully locked drawer, Leslie appeared like a fierce storm, with eyes full of despair and fear. Leslie begged Kat to return those documents. She tried to hold on, begging in desperation when she realized that everything could end not only her career but also her future. Leslie, who was originally ambitious and cunning, now suddenly became weak, her eyes filled with tears and fear, making the situation more tense than ever. The confrontation between Kat and Leslie became fierce, not just a fight for material things, but a battle of secrets and truths, where a small mistake could cost her life or freedom. Kat, standing at the crossroads of choice, feels the weight of the decision on her shoulders. She knows that if she returns the file, all the truth will be buried, and if she keeps it, she will have to face the brutal revenge of Leslie and those behind her. Meanwhile, Leslie does not stop at begging but quietly mobilizes secret allies, who are willing to do anything to protect her reputation and power. Anonymous phone calls, shadows lurking behind the corridors of power begin to operate, creating an invisible but extremely dangerous pressure network. On the contrary, Kat is not alone. She has loyal friends who believe in her and are willing to support her in this fight for justice. Together, they carefully plan everything from protecting themselves to publicizing the scandal in the most effective way, to ensure that everything is cleared up and the perpetrators are held accountable. However, as the tense battle reaches its climax, a surprising truth is revealed. Kat is not only a person pursuing justice but also has a secret past directly related to Leslie. The relationship between the two is not simply hostile but is also closely tied by pieces of a painful and mysterious past. That past adds to the complexity, making the battle of wits more dramatic and unpredictable than ever. More surprisingly, Leslie is not only alone in the power play but also has people close to her who are willing to sacrifice everything for her, even those Kat once trusted. This puts Kat in an even more dangerous situation, as the line between enemies and friends becomes blurred, and she must be careful with every step to avoid being betrayed. The deeper Kat gets into the scandal, the more she discovers the dark conspiracies and deep corruption that lie beneath the curtain of power that Leslie and her allies have built. The sophisticated tricks, scheming deceptions, and shocking secrets that are gradually revealed make it impossible for viewers to take their eyes off the developments. Each character that appears carries their own stories, complex motives, making this battle not only a battle between justice and crime, but also a battle between people and the past, greed and forgiveness. The confrontation between Kat and Leslie is not only personal, but also creates a chain effect, leading to serious consequences for many people involved. Those who were once on the sidelines are now forced to choose sides, and that choice will change their lives. The atmosphere in the city gradually becomes suffocating, filled with hidden conspiracies and secrets hidden under a peaceful facade. The breathtaking moments when Kat holds the precious documents tightly in her hands, facing Leslie's pleading and threatening eyes, make the audience curious about the next step of this battle. Will Kat continue to maintain her integrity or be caught up in the spiral of revenge and betrayal? What tricks will Leslie use to maintain her power and hide her sins? And outside the battle between the two, what hidden forces are waiting to launch the decisive blow? The tension escalates as Kat discovers a series of new evidences, not only exposing Leslie's scandal but also involving high-ranking officials in the city. Everything is no longer just a small-scale war but becomes a large-scale power purge, where every step has the potential for unpredictable dangers. Kat is no longer an individual but a symbol of truth, the only hope to expose the entire corruption that reigns. However, to achieve that, Kat must overcome seemingly impossible challenges. She is followed, threatened, and repeatedly faced with imminent death. The people she loves are also caught up in the dangerous vortex, making the battle not only a fight for the truth but also a fight to protect loved ones. In another development, Leslie, despite failing to stop Kat, still does not give up. She secretly plans revenge, using all tricks to destroy Kat's reputation in life. A series of lawsuits, fabricated scandals, and even mental attacks to make Kat collapse are gradually deployed. But Kat, with her resilience and unyielding spirit, stood firm and continued on this thorny path. Along the way, Kat also discovered that this scandal did not stop at Leslie but extended to a network of organized crime, where power, money and ambition were intricately intertwined. She began to connect the scattered pieces, opening up a complex but also extremely clear picture of the truth that everyone had tried to hide. The deeper she went, Kat realized that she had to learn to trust the right people, to fight not only with strength but also with intelligence and courage. She constantly had to make trade-offs, facing difficult choices between her own safety and exposing the truth, between friendship and betrayal, between justice and forgiveness. The biggest lesson Kat learned in this battle was not only that the truth always needs to be protected, but also the power of perseverance and belief in herself. She knew that although the road ahead was long and full of pitfalls, as long as she did not give up, the light of truth would shine, and justice would be served. The battle between Kat and Leslie became increasingly fierce as those involved in the scandal began to suffer heavy consequences. The pieces of the corrupt picture of the power system gradually became clear through each step of Kat's investigation and discovery. However, the leaders were not simply Leslie, but also the shadowy figures hidden in underground organizations, whose power and influence were far beyond what Kat could imagine. Under the cold light of the night, Kat repeatedly received threatening warnings, anonymous phone calls with choked voices and implied threats to her life. Every time she returned home, she was followed and there were unusual signs that made her feel unsafe. But those challenges made Kat more determined, because she understood that her safety could only be guaranteed when the truth was revealed. Meanwhile, Leslie constantly used every trick to weaken Kat. She secretly used close relationships to put pressure, while sowing doubt and division in Kat's support group. Those who once trusted Kat began to doubt her, close friends gradually withdrew, leaving Kat in a more lonely and precarious situation than ever. Notably, a new character appeared, Kat's old teacher, who had trained her during the difficult years before. This person carried a big secret that could change the situation of the war. His help not only provided Kat with valuable knowledge and tactics, but also provided her with the spiritual motivation to overcome her most desperate moments. As Kat delved deeper into the investigation, she discovered that Leslie not only used ruthless tactics but also had a larger plan to cover everything up. She secretly linked up with criminal organizations and even corrupt officials, creating a strong network of protection for her wrongdoings. This was not just a personal scandal, but a large-scale criminal system that could have serious consequences for the entire society. One of the most dramatic moments is when Kat is kidnapped while searching for important evidence. The kidnappers not only target her but also want to send a warning message to those who dare to oppose this criminal system. However, the timely appearance of her loyal friends and her old teacher helps her escape danger, and at the same time makes the enemy more cautious in their next plans. After that event, Kat becomes more aware of the importance of solidarity and mutual support. She begins to build a new team, gathering people with the same aspirations and determination to fight for justice. Each member has their own story, bitter experiences, but becomes a source of strength to fight together against the dark forces. At the same time, the secrets about Kat's past are gradually revealed. Things that were thought to be buried in her memory suddenly come back with surprising power, helping her decipher many signs and clues in the scandal. The bond between her and Leslie is not just an enemy but also a deep connection through a painful event in the past, making the struggle more complicated and emotional. Leslie, knowing that time is running out, begins to act more recklessly. She decides to organize a secret meeting with the key people in her network, to find a way to deal with Kat once and for all. This meeting is carefully planned in a secret location, where any trick can happen, making the audience anxiously follow every development. However, thanks to her vigilance and foresight, Kat secretly monitors and records the entire meeting. The evidence collected not only proves Leslie's crime but also reveals the complex relationships between dark forces, from politics, economics to society. This creates a major turning point in the case, forcing public opinion and authorities to intervene with unprecedented determination. The closer to the finish line, the more dangers increase. Kat faces sophisticated plots to destroy her reputation and career. She is followed, spread false information and even falsely accused with baseless accusations. But with intelligence, alertness and courage, Kat always finds a way to defuse each trap, making her enemies miserable. The final battle between Kat and Leslie takes place not only on the legal front but also in the media arena. Kat publicizes all the evidence, holds press conferences, and calls for public support. Pressure from public opinion gradually exposes Leslie and her accomplices, forcing them to face the law. However, before everything ends, a shocking secret is revealed. One of Kat's closest allies turns out to be a traitor, siding with Leslie to take advantage of the situation for personal gain. This betrayal causes Kat deep pain and trauma, but at the same time helps her realize the true value of honesty and vigilance in this fight. Finally, after days of tireless struggle, the truth is revealed, the guilty are punished, and justice is served. Kat becomes a symbol of courage and perseverance, inspiring many to stand up against injustice and corruption. But the story does not end there. The wounds of the past remain, new conspiracies begin to form in the dark, and Kat knows that the fight for truth and justice will continue, requiring her to be vigilant, strong, and constantly moving forward. This is not only a story about confrontation but also a journey of maturity, self-awareness, and finding one's true meaning amidst the harshest challenges of life. Thank you for taking the time to follow the article. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click follow to not miss the latest updates on your favorite movies as well as the next in-depth analysis. All your comments and shares are a great motivation for us to continue bringing you the best quality content. See you in the next videos and articles.